Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a while. I've been busy with, end of the semester finals and stuff. Anyway, we're making the Celica great again, and we're finally getting rid of these nasty 300,000 mile seats with seat covers. So, let's get to it. All right, let's go over why I want to change these. First off, well, one, the seat covers, they don't look great. I mean, this one looks okay, but this bunching right here is just really frustrating. And if you look under the actual seat, you will find out one of the biggest reasons why I wanted new seats. The guy that owned this car before me used it for work, so I use it as a daily, and I want it to be a nice daily. Oh god, that's dirty underneath there, man. Ugh. And in addition to that tear, there's that one right there. And this seat's really worn out and it has a lot of miles, so this one's going in the bin. But the passenger side one is actually pretty decent. I might actually end up listing it locally, maybe if somebody wants it. If not, it'll go in the bin too. Plus, now that I have the chance, I'm actually gonna end up vacuuming underneath these seats because I haven't cleaned my car in months. So just to show you guys, it's 2 bolts up front on both sides. Then you have a bolt underneath here, I believe, and a bolt right there. Just a little wiring harness that checks if your seatbelt is in underneath. So let's get to it. Alright, because I'm probably going to keep the lights on and I might or may not touch the horn, and just because I have several lights on and stuff, I'm going to disconnect the negative side of the battery. So let's get into the engine bay. My powerhouse of a 7AF, and just gonna twist that and it'll cut the power to the car. These are really cool to get. I think they're required for track days too, and just whenever you're working on your car, that way you don't need a 10 mil and just to undo it and then end up losing it. It's convenient and just twist it. Cool, and it's only $5. I recommend everybody get one of these. Alrighty, the seat is out, and no better way to clean up the car than with everything out. So I'm gonna go ahead and move these things out of the way and go ahead and vacuum over here. Alright, nice and relatively clean. It's not coming off that clean in camera. Alright, hopefully that's a little bit better. So yeah, it's as clean as I'm gonna get it. Looks pretty good. Remember, 300,000 miles on a carpet, it gets to it. So I'm gonna end up cleaning it with Meguiar's upholstery and carpet cleaner. Meguiar's stuff is always awesome, and it's not sponsoring this video. My wallet is, but it's pricey, but it's worth it. I'm gonna spray down the carpet and scrub it a little bit. I did it with the seats, so just to make sure it smells nicer, I guess, down here. Alright, let's... Oh shit, I forgot. It's a much bigger spray. Square a little bit down here. Not gonna lie, I probably used too much, but don't worry, I avoided this connection. Now we're just gonna scrub for a little bit, and I'll be back. Nice and, well, it doesn't look that clean on camera, but I promise it's cleaner. Let's see if we can bring down the exposure a bit. There we go, it's a lot cleaner now. It looks awesome. Now ready to put in the seat, which is right over there. Alrighty, and we got the seat in. Look at that leather, man. Only 100, basically 100,000 miles, which is a lot, but you know, my car has 300 I think it just got to 305 actually. Compared to this old leather, you did good, kid, but look at that. It's coming from the headrest. That is definitely going in the trash, and this is so in, dude. This looks awesome. Little map pocket in there too. And there's that one spot of paint I couldn't get out completely, but it's mostly out. And I mean, this seat just looks and smells completely awesome compared to the other one. Look at that. It looks like they have the little cutouts for the right-hand drive GT4s on this side. But unfortunately, we're just an ST AT200. But still awesome. Anyway, let's just bolt these in and see how, hopefully, everything should line up. I don't think there should be a difference. Alright, so I have some good news and some bad news. Good news is the seat bolts up completely well and everything works right. Everything opens up as it should in a coupe. However, for some reason, Toyota decided to change this little connector underneath the seat. I know this is a pre-95 seat, so I think it was a 94 I pulled it out of. So these little connectors changed between the one that actually goes from the car, if I can get it here, from the one that goes from the car to the actual seat is different. So what I'm going to do is probably just cut that out on the other one and splice it into here, which hopefully that works, and we'll see. So I mean, I don't think I'm gonna bother. It's just for the seatbelt indicator, which I kind of removed because they were kind of faulty on the old seats. So I think I'm just gonna leave them disconnected. Not that important. I always remember to wear my seatbelt. Luckily, don't jinx myself. So we did the passenger side. Now let's move on to the driver's side, because left-hand drive. Rip. I'm coming to you from the burning hell that is the inside of my car. Basically, if you guys are planning on doing the same swap with the seats, be aware, I'm not sure if this is a trim thing or a year thing. My car's a 96 Celica ST. I pulled these out of a 94 Celica GT. I have a feeling it might be like model thing, but I have a couple of problems with the seat belts. Alright, so luckily I pulled out the seatbelt out of that 94 GT because apparently the connectors are different than the ones on the seat. Like, my original seatbelts had 300,000 miles, and luckily I took them out and took these 94 GT seatbelts out of the same car I took these seats out of, because the clicker right here is actually smaller than the one that was in the 96 Celica ST, so I couldn't click my seatbelt into place and, you know, click it or tick it or whatever they say. But point is, luckily these retract a lot nicer. But be aware, if you do swap out the connectors from a GT ST that's like older, I'm not sure if this is a year or a trim thing, but the connector that goes to the actual car's harness and the connector that's underneath the seat that goes to the clicker is different. So the connector right there is for the actual seat. No, I believe that's actually the one from the car. So from the car to the seat, it will not connect. So I need to cut off the one from the old seats and just solder it on, I suppose, like I did with the one that goes behind here for the main like seatbelt. But luckily these retract, so, and luckily I took out the seatbelt. So if you guys are planning on doing this, make sure, you know, your car matches up with the little, I guess, clickers for your seatbelt to the actual seat, because these are smaller than the ones that my car had. Let me show you guys actually what I'm talking about. Alright, so this is my old 300,000 mile seatbelt that's really worn out. And if you look at the clicker, it's a lot thicker. That's what she said. So here we have the new seatbelt, which is the passenger side one, and for some reason they changed it. I'm not sure if this is a GT or an ST thing or a year thing that Toyota did, or if there was some kind of regulation in the US to make the seatbelt, I guess, thicker, like wider. So keep that in mind if you're going to be swapping over seats. You could also just swap over the clickers, but I needed to replace my seat belts because, I mean, look at that. And look at that. There's not much of a difference, but look at that right there. It's worn out. It's not good. Also, the connectors that go into the car, that was a 94 GT1 that I pulled this out of. You're gonna need the connectors and cut it. Well, what I did was I cut them off and soldered them on and spliced it into my car, so that's already done. So I'm gonna do the same for the other side, but just be aware if you guys are planning on doing this, either unbolt the clicker that your car came with and then put onto the new seats, or do what I'm doing. Most people, I guess, will just run racing harnesses, but this isn't a race car, and I don't mind the stock seat belts. They're reliable, and I don't want to run a bar in the back for the racing harnesses, at least not on this car. Maybe on that one, not this one. And I would show you guys, but it's the same exact process I did, and it's pretty simple. It's just the 4 bolts I showed you guys in the beginning. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll give you a cinematic shot, I guess, of how it all looks. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm so psyched to finally get newer seats. The one bad thing I noticed was, for some reason, I guess Toyota decided from 94 to 96 was to change the little connector where it detects if your seatbelt is on or not. It's a weird thing, but luckily everything else lined up nicely. They feel a lot firmer considering they have 200,000 miles less than my current seats. And we're gonna be throwing those in the trash, especially the driver's seat. That one's going in the bin. I was thinking about maybe listing the passenger side one because it's in pretty good condition, and there are some 6th gens with like much worse condition seats. I'm talking about holes, cigarette butts probably being put out on the seat. Yeah, no, they're both going in the bin. Look at that, that's just terrible. 300,000 miles of greatness. Thanks for not giving up, seats. Also, hint, hint, that's going on the 7th gen. Wow, this is a weird thing to end the video on.